Falcon fans, Falcon Nation, welcome to Dirty Fanatics United. If you're new to the channel, hit that like button, leave a comment, subscribe if you haven't seen us before, because we are a bunch of diehard Atlanta Falcon fans bringing you Falcon coverage and content all week, leading into training camp this week for sure. A lot of coverage to drop this week specifically. A lot to talk about here on the channel, a lot looking forward to coming up. I believe training camp starts on a Wednesday. The players report to the Flowery Branch facility on Wednesday, and I think things really start ramping up on Thursday is when the Falcons actually take the field. So blessed to be able to run this podcast tonight with the guys. So tap in. We got a great show coming at you tonight. Philip, what's going on, brother? It's been a while since DFU has been live, man. So welcome back, and glad to have all you guys here tonight. Philip, what's going on?
Not much, man. Just blessed to be here. Started my new job. I think it's like week 3 going into there, but it's been hot. But hey, man, we getting through. Hey, at least this training camp, he ain't gonna be nothing to me now.
Rick, what's going on, man? Training camp right around the corner. A lot of Atlanta Falcon content to be dropped here very soon. Rick, what's going on, man? What are you most excited about heading into this training camp venture? I guess you could say a lot of training camp battles to take place here in Atlanta the next couple of weeks. So a lot of players to be cut, a lot of players to make the roster. Rick, what's going on?
Man, just a lot of things to kind of talk about and dissect and dive in, and who's going to make the team and making your guesses and things like that. We just went through a 2-month lull where there's nothing really great to talk about, and now we can start to see some battles, some people fighting, see who the dogs are. I want to see some of the young guns kind of making a push for some of them starting positions. And, when we're talking about the depth chart later on, I think we're looking at it before training camp and kind of seeing what post-training camp shakes out. So I'm kind of excited about that.
Absolutely. Cody, coming to you, the Mercedes-Benz car dealership himself. Cody Keeler, what's going on, man? Glad to have you here tonight. A lot of Falcon content fixing to start pushing here at DFU, guys. This is officially kind of like the kickoff to the 2025 season, guys. It is officially here. Draft is over with. Rookie minicamp is over with. It's all in wraps. The real deal starts Wednesday. Atlanta Falcon training camp. Cody, what's going on, man? Can't wait to link up with you guys in Atlanta this week, man. It's going to be a movie. Cody, what's going on?
Man, tell you what, I would say it feels like life's moving at 100 miles an hour. I would say it's been 2 weeks since we've got to talk, live Falcon football. But man, everything's going good. Loving Mercedes-Benz. I would say I think this is honestly the first job I've not been like, hey man, we're having to go to work today. So that's been great. I would say, but man, I'm just looking forward to football season, especially with as disappointing as the Brave season's been this year. Which normally kind of carries me over into Dirty Bird football. Man, I'm just looking forward to some kind of something. I'm looking forward to something to be excited about.
I'm still living in 2021.
That's all right.
As we all are. Sterling Woods in the chat with us. What's going on, everyone? It's been a while for me. Sterling, what's going on? It's been a while for us. Glad to have you here in the comment section. Stick around. We have a lot of topics to talk about tonight here at DFU. Robert, what's going on, man? I always get you and Rick's name. It's like a tongue twister. Robert, what's going on, man? Glad to have you here tonight. It's been a minute for DFU, as Sterling Woods says. What's going on, man? How you been doing?
I'm just working myself to death, but, just getting into the summer now and, looking forward to training camp, looking forward to those position battles, looking forward to what a lot of the newer guys are going to bring to the table, see who makes the 53-man when it's all said and done. It's an exciting time to be a Falcon fan.
Absolutely, Robert. I went back today and was watching some of the shorts that my guy Rick had edited for us, and I was looking at the one of the videos you said, if you're an Atlanta Falcon fan and you love defense, this is the year to be excited to be a Falcon fan. And I think you're 100% right. Our first comment or second comment here on the podcast is a defensive comment here. Can we see Trice, Walker, and Pierce on the field at the same time? Robert, everybody is excited about what this defense could be, and that's let alone was just because of your first-round draft pick, Jalen Walker. Mm-hmm. Now you have Trice back in action this year. Walker and Pierce, another rookie in the first-round pick. Robert, your guy, James Pierce, is an Atlanta Falcon. Excited to see what could happen here in this offseason. Sterling Woods, training camp is heating up, and we're getting to that very shortly. But before we do so, we have a topic we like to call Breaking the Ice here. From the top, we'll start with it. Breaking the ice, fumble in Cincinnati, and then we'll talk about the 2018 NFL first-round draft picks. Cody, breaking the ice, Shamar Stewart visited his local college team, his past college team, the Aggies. Reports came out, Shamar Stewart is the only first-round pick to not be signed yet to the Cincinnati Bengals. it's not on Shamar's end. It's more of a Cincinnati contract situation. Talks today were that the head coach stated Shamar Stewart would be a Cincinnati Bengal and he would not play for this college team heading into next season. Cody, your thoughts on Shamar Stewart debacle in Cincinnati, and how do you not allow your first round draft pick to be signed weeks before training camp?
Man, see, this is something that I'm not looking at this because obviously I'm not a Cincinnati Bengal fan. So, but could you imagine? Let's put ourselves in Cincinnati's shoes right now, and let's say the Atlanta Falcons are doing this with Jalen Walker. Could you imagine the uproar in Atlanta would be for if we were playing around with Jalen Walker, kind of like this? And like I said, I don't understand everything that's going on. I know Cincinnati is trying to do some kind of new deal, whatever their problem is. But could you imagine if we couldn't get Jalen Walker signed and he's going back to Georgia and is, practicing with Georgia and is apparently, from what I read today, I saw something real quick while I was at work. To me, it sounded like Shamar Stewart had actually signed waivers to go back to Texas A&M. So
Yeah.
I don't know what, the head coach in Cincinnati's thinking, because it sounded an awful lot like they're about to lose their first round draft pick to college football.
So speaking about that, this is from an NFL insider. Jeremy Fowler reveals a new problematic detail in Shamar Stewart. This was 8 hours ago that this was posted. Today is the 18th, correct?
Yes.
July 18th, 2025 at 12 p.m. This was posted. It says, Shamar Stewart is unhappy with the Cincinnati Bengals front office, and he might very well be justified in feeling that way. Previously, it was reported that Stewart didn't like his contract, included a new clause that would void all future guarantees if he defaults in the season. That is because previous Bengals rookie like Amarius Mims had language that only void one season at a time. Of course, the counter argument was most teams do it the new way. Okay, fine. But then there's another issue. The NFL insider Jimmy Fowler recently reported Stewart would also be getting a worse bonus pay structure than the player selected in his slot last year. It's clear that Shamar, based on precedent, feels like he can take the Bengals deal right now. Fowler began. He then explained, from my understanding of the language and the contract, they're essentially in some areas asking him to take a pay decrease from where last year's number 17 pick, Dallas Turner and Minnesota, got certain bonuses that Shamar Stewart would not. Let's just hope the Bengals front office realizes the urgency of getting Stewart in camp, because the young man certainly has a lot of potential. That was the day NFL insider Jimmy Fowler released that. So the situation is not pretty in Cincinnati. As you stated, you possibly could be losing that first-round draft pick. Rick, Robert, Philip, you guys want to throw in on this before we get ready to talk some Falcon football?
I mean, I'll just say you're already messing with Hendrickson. I just looked it up. They're 28th in the league in defense, and this is what you want to do? I don't know. It puts out a bad precedence of, like, maybe I don't want to be drafted by the Bengals. Maybe I don't want to be a free agent for the Bengals because this is the way they treat their players, and that's just not a good look. And you have a Super Bowl bound offense, and now you're gonna, I don't know. There has to be something there that I don't quite understand about the contract negotiations. But if you're taking a pay decrease, the price is supposed to go up every year, not down.
Right.
So I don't know. That's a little questionable to me. If I was a Falcons fan and they were doing this Jalen Walker, they might riot in Atlanta. I mean,
yeah, absolutely. Robert, Philip.
Oh no, I agree. It's kind of it's kind of weird. Like, I don't get it. Like, just like Rick said, you're 28. Well, like, what are you doing? You're gonna have these future players come up this upcoming year, thinking, I don't want to go to Cincinnati. They're not willing to pay me.
Shamar Stewart
benefit me.
was on the Atlanta Falcons draft board. At one point, Shamar Stewart was on the Falcons draft board. So, I mean, the guy has talent. He's a very great, solid player. Robert, your thoughts on the situation?
Well, in my opinion, it's a typical Bengal move. I mean, I grew up just across the river from Cincinnati, so, I've always kind of had my finger on the Bengals' pulse, even though I'm a Falcon fan. But just the whole tightwad mentality of the Brown family, I mean, it's typical. I mean, this isn't the first time. I mean, I think it may be the first time that's actually gone so far where that they may actually lose a first-round draft pick back to his college. But when they drafted Kajana Carter back in '95, I mean, they drug their feet with him. Of course, he had a string of bad luck. Draft picks even before that, Big Daddy Dan Wilkinson.
Big Daddy D.
negotiations drug on and on and on. It's just a typical Bengal move. And am I surprised by it? No, not really. But for the sake of Zach Taylor and the offense, hopefully they'll get it resolved. But the Bengals are always going to be the Bengals.
Yeah, it is a very odd situation. Another situation that I thought was very odd. Before we get in this topic, I got a question for you guys. Was Josh Rosen a backup quarterback for the Falcons at one time?
Say that one more time.
Was Josh Rosen?
Yeah.
Was he a backup? He was a backup.
Yeah, I feel like he was.
He was.
I believe it. So what I thought was very odd this week, I was at work. I was scrolling at lunchtime on Twitter, and they dropped the NFL Draft round 1 of 2018, guys. I think you'd be surprised at how many Falcons are actually on this list or what's played for the Falcon organization. So we'll start from the top here, and that's draft pick number 10, quarterback Josh Rosen, backup quarterback for the Atlanta Falcons. Another one on the list, selected at number 22, Rashaan Evans. Drafted by Tennessee Titans. Another selection, obviously, by the Falcons, Calvin Ridley. The player selected right before Calvin Ridley, Hayden Hurst. That's 4 players already, guys. And then on the 5th, you have cornerback Mike Hughes with his Minnesota Vikings. That's 5 players in the first round of the 2018 draft that played for the Atlanta Falcons. I thought it was a cool fact. It's pretty weird. Pretty weird.
Do you mind if we go back to that Shamar Stewart thing? I just did a little research on the back end. Mm-hmm. And reading the contract, the term that they were trying to put in there, it looks like they know something about Shamar Stewart that they're scared of.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of getting off of it.
Yeah, so it basically says if he fails to perform because he goes to jail, if he dies, if he gets an injury outside of football, if he gets suspended for drugs, if he gets suspended for anything detrimental to the team, performance enhanced, it's all like problematic stuff. If any of that happens, that means they're anticipating it to happen.
Right.
So that's kind of.
So it could be a character issue. Could be a character issue.
At first I was on his team, but I'm like, wait a second. If they're doing that means they know something. So
that could very well be true.
As everyone's trying to make him out to sound.
Yeah, if you look at it at that standpoint, I mean, there's not many rookies that have those many agreements in their contract at that point of their career as a first round pick. You're coming in as a rookie, you're supposed to be pretty clean. That's kind of crazy to see.
Well, that's a little suspect there.
Yeah, and you definitely have to look at it, as much as I hate this part of football, the business side of it, you definitely have to look at that. But at the same time, to Robert's point, how does it look to other rookies coming in?
Totally.
You know what I mean? Like, because my thing is if I'm a high draft pick or wherever I'm falling and I'm rumored and linked to the Bengals, I'm probably having anxiety, about it because I'm like, well, am I going to get paid what I'm worth? Because, are you going to punish me for something that, somebody else did, or what the deal is? It's going to make, it's going to make free agents not want to go there too that have problems, in the past. And, these guys, some of these guys just have issues. We're all human. We all have our, our demons and stuff like that. And so my thing is, are you scaring away free agents too from your team? Because the Bengals spent like $154 million on the offense, and you've got nothing on the defensive side. Like, there's a meme that I keep seeing on Facebook going around. It says Bengals next season 145, and then another team scores 155. And that's what their season's going to be because they don't have a defense. And so it's like, I get it from the business standpoint of it that you've got to protect your franchise and you've got to protect your money and all that stuff. But like to Rick's point, again, has got a Super Bowl caliber offense. Absolutely. Is probably going to be a top 5, offense. But if you can't stop anybody, are you really wanting to play these games with, a defense, your defensive guys? I don't know. Like I said, I can see it from both sides, business and as a player standpoint, but man, Cincinnati's got a problem on their hands.
They just need a Falcon filter, man.
Well, and and the thing is too, to bring up like
take any risk on anybody,
right? Well, but then here's my thing too is like if you're putting this stuff in his contract and you obviously would have known his character before you drafted the guy, why'd you draft him?
That's right.
If this was as a
but
problem.
I would say for him, if you know you're not going to do that, then what do you have to worry about?
Yeah, exactly.
Sign the paperwork. But maybe you think, I don't know, I can't control myself come December.
Yeah, when you get a few extra $100 million in your bank account, I'm gonna say
18 million on that day. Exactly.
Well, the Bengals have been notorious for bringing in players with bad character. I mean, Chris Henry. I mean, that's the first one that comes to mind. And back in '99, they had the third pick overall, and Mike Ditka got on the phone with them when he was coaching the Saints, and he offered his whole draft to move up to number 3 to take Ricky Williams.
Oh yeah.
And they did not go for it because they wanted Akili Smith. And they knew his work ethic sucked. And they still spent a number 3 overall pick on this guy. And it's like I said, this whole thing, it's a typical Bengal move.
Look at me. I'm learning history today, boy.
I know, me too.
Hey, yeah, see, that's
born in '99.
That's the great part of having Robert on the podcast, because this guy is like a dictionary when it comes to the NFL. So it's great to have Robert on the podcast. Guys, we got training camp coverage rolling around. We have a great topic coming at you, position battles and more. Before we dive into position battles, DFU would like to announce we will be in Atlanta, Fire Branch, I guess you could say, covering of the training camp. I'll be there Thursday. Hopefully, Rick, Cody, and Philip will all link up this weekend and get you guys some great content to come out and push out to you guys, whether that's YouTube Shorts, a live from Flowery Branch, whatever it may be. We got something excited cooking for you here at DFU for training camp coverage. I've even went and bought the little, you guys know the little stand that the phone sits in and it like turns and stuff for you. Yeah, we
might as well just buy a camera, my guy.
We stepping up, even we stepping up here for the podcast. So training camp coverage coming ahead shortly the week ahead. So be looking for that. Position battles heading into training camp, guys. I got an article I'm gonna read here from Atlanta Falcons page. This was an article by Will McFadden, senior editor and staff writer. So do not come at me. Fire Branch, Georgia, we are just over a week away from the start of Atlanta Falcons training camp. There's a lot of storylines that will begin to unfold until we've got a few more position previews summarizing where things stand out for each unit. Following today's focus is the Atlanta Falcons cornerback room. Position coaches, Jerry Gray, assistant head coach, defense, Justin Hood, secondary coach, and Lance Schulters, defense assistant. Returning starters, of course, A.J. Terrell, Mike Hughes, and D. Alford will all three return for the Atlanta Falcons in the secondary of the cornerback position. Notable newcomers, Billy Bowman Jr., Mike Ford Jr., and Keith Taylor. Mike Ford Jr. The name sounds very familiar. I thought Mike Ford was already a Falcon before.
I thought so, too.
Mike Ford Jr. and Keith Taylor.
I'm pretty sure Mike Ford was.
Mike Ford was.
Yeah, it says notable newcomers: Billy Bowman Jr., Mike Ford Jr.
Oh no, he wasn't. He was on Cleveland last year. Oh! He was a Falcon in 22.
In 22,
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So he's back with the team now in the offseason. Mike Ford and Keith Taylor. It says rest of the roster: Natron Brooks, Kobe Bryant, Lamar Jackson, Kevin King, Dante Manning, Clark Phillips III. Guys.
Hey, there's a lot. Lamar Jackson now. We got Lamar Jackson.
Like there's a lot of battling right there. There's a lot of battling that's going to happen in the cornerback room. I mean, Kobe Bryant, Kevin King, Dante Manning, Clark Phillips III, and Natron Brooks. Real quick before we dive into the rest of this article, those names, let's speak on it. Natron Brooks, Kobe Bryant, Lamar Jackson, Kevin King, Dante Manning, Clark Phillips III. Usually you keep 3 active cornerbacks on the roster, 3 to 4 active cornerbacks on the roster. The rest sit on a training camp. a practice squad, correct? Is it 3 to 4 or 5, somewhere around that number? So if you obviously already have A.J. Terrell, Mike Hughes, a name that they have up here as a returning starter that I could see on the chopping block, personally for me, D. Alford.
Yeah, he's a starting nickel right now.
D. Alford may be outshined by these rookies that are coming in.
He's got Bowman and Kevin King behind him. Remember, Kevin King came in at the end of the season last year and made some plays.
Exactly.
He had a good training camp last year, too.
What is Clark Phillips III going to be in year 3? Somebody's getting cut is all I'm saying. This cornerback room is too deep for somebody not to be cut. I see two guys off this list immediately.
Mike Ford Jr.
I hate to say it, D and Mike Ford.
I think Natron Brooks could be a guy you see slide to the practice squad.
Yeah.
So that could save D. Alford. You have Lamar
Saquon
Jackson.
and Lamar Jackson both.
What about Dante Manning? I don't know much about Dante Manning, so that could be a player also.
I don't
That's
even
two
see
guys there.
Dante Manning on here.
That says the only offseason departure you had in that group was Antonio Hamilton Sr. He played a couple of snaps early on in the season, played well, and then didn't play so well towards the end. So that guy will be gone. Speaking of, go ahead, Philip.
I just want to see a little bit more from D. Alford, though. Like,
well, your first topic to this whole corner, this whole list, or this article talks about the first spot that Rick mentioned, starting nickel. Who emerges as a starting nickel? It says a strong argument could be made that the Falcons' biggest camp battle would take place in the slot. D. Alford started a career-high 11 games for Atlanta in 2024. Is back on a one-year deal, but his play was inconsistent last season. The Falcons raised a few eyebrows early on day 3. The Falcons drafted selecting Oklahoma safety Billy Bowman Jr. after taking Notre Dame safety Xavier Watts in the 3rd round. But their intentions soon became clear because Bowman will begin his professional career by giving Alford a run for his money at the nickel corner position. Alford obviously has more experience at the NFL level, and his play in 2023 was worthy of an increased role last year, but the Falcons clearly have a vision for Bowman in this defense. Enough to use one of just 5 picks of him. While action in minicamp was very limited, Bowman's personality popped, and his competitive style is a fit for the defense coordinator, Jeff Ulbrich. And your guys' thoughts on the nickel position. Go ahead, Robert.
That right there, I mean, a lot of people, and I think that, all of us were kind of in agreement. A lot of Alford's problem was probably,
just physicality.
Scheme.
Yeah.
He may thrive under Ulbrich, but, we'll just have to see how this goes. But I'm not willing to just pull the plug on Alford just yet. I think that,
you've seen the flashes. You've seen what D. Alford can do in a good scheme. You've seen it in 2023 with Ryan Nielsen. D. Alford played the best career season that he's ever played in his whole career. So, yeah, absolutely. That gave him a 2-year contract. D. Alford did. This is his last year in Atlanta on that contract. So, absolutely, Robert. This could be a scheme situation. Maybe D. Alford comes out and shines in training camp here in this position battle. Philip, Rick, Cody?
The thing I always think about is I'm looking at the last year and this year and not including in if D. Alford stays, we have 6 brand new starters and a brand new defensive coordinator. Yep. So do they want just somebody out there who's been there with 5 of the other guys to know the communication, to start the season, keep things nice and consistent, and then say, but to me, D. Alford's spot is going to come down to one thing. When we had Poole in 2016 and 2017, that guy was a tackling machine from the nickelback corner. Remember when he made that big play against the Rams and he hit Gurley, I think it was? Mm-hmm. I think Billy Bowman, from looking at his highlights, is a strong tackler. Yep. And if he should – because that was our biggest problem last year. Our team would not freaking tackle in the back end, right? So if Billy Bowman can make some tackles, I think D. Alford is going to be – we're trying to put a new fusion of new players in there. So I think they might go back and forth, but I think it's going to come down to the tackling, honestly.
Yep. Yeah, that was
I feel like we'll see a lot of that in training camp this weekend, or this upcoming weekend, not this weekend, but next. But we'll see a lot of that. I feel like you'll see who's running with first team, who's running with second, or seeing who.
Yeah, you'll kind of see it's like the first few days. Rick, can you look that up? Rick, can you let me know when the Falcons actually take the field in Flowery Branch? I believe I read they report on Wednesday, but I don't think they actually take the field till Thursday.
I think you're right. It starts Thursday,
and that'll be shorts and a shirt. That won't even be pads, will it? Just shirt and a helmet.
Full pad day is July 30th. 6 days later.
6 days later. That's on a what?
That's when nobody's there. I'm pretty sure though. I think full pads is them fully not open to public. I'm pretty sure.
Well, what I'm most excited to see about the position battles, we spoke on the cornerback, and I want to give Cody and Robert their chance to speak on this. What do you guys feel about the cornerback position? We just read about nickelback specifically. D. Alford, Robert hit on it with D. Alford's, his good season that he had here in Atlanta. He did have production in Atlanta. That's why he's still on this roster. And Philip, you remember 2 years ago, dude, I was a D. Alford fanatic, bro. We're down in the club section screaming at D. Alford on the sideline, hyping this guy up during the whole game, and it's like, hey, D. Alford's our guy. So D. Alford, it's not a hate thing for D. Alford. I really want to see D. Alford do great things in Atlanta. But like Rick stated, with the newcomer of Billy Bowman, Cody, you were excited about the Billy Bowman signing, the Xavier White signing. Everybody in Atlanta was excited about these draft picks. Who takes the position battle, Cody? I'm throwing a hard question at you. Who gets it, D. Alford or Billy Bowman?
Well, this is my thing. Is I really think that D dropped off with the Jimmy Lake scheme, guys. I think Jimmy Lake was a much bigger problem than I think. I know we on this podcast we have harped on that a lot, and I still think that players don't necessarily come out on Twitter like D did and go, when somebody makes a comment and D's like, yeah, if you know, and I mean, players don't call out coaches like that unless there's a huge issue.
And what did our defense man say about dropping back 60? He's like, you can't get sacks if you drop back 60% of the passes.
Yeah. He's like, the scheme is trash. Like D. Alford calling out for help on Twitter.
So, I mean, it's one of those things is I think if we can see that consistency from D, I think it is probably his position to lose, not because I don't think Billy Bowman's going to be better than D, but I think it's to Rick's point that he's familiar with the play calling. He's familiar with the language. He's going to have more chemistry with, the other guys in the secondary.
Like McDonald's.
So my thing is if D can stay consistent, not have games like he did in Minnesota where
oh my god
doing this
skip that part, Cody. Skip that part.
So I think it's D's job to lose, but with that said, I do think he better watch out because I think Billy Bowman, man, could sneak up because these guys can pick up on that language. I mean, as good as Billy Bowman is, I'm sure he'll learn quick. And so D had better be ready to rock and roll and play his A game.
Sterling Woods is on the Billy Bowman train as well. Says Billy will take that nickel position. My guy Marcus Boyd is in the chat with it. D, if you in the house, Marcus, what's going on, brother? Glad to have you here tonight, man. We've got to link up this year, brother. Get at me in the messenger. Let's find out what game you're going to. And
he don't want to see you.
Let's make that link, dog. Let's make that link. We missed out like 2 times last year. We never got the chance to do it. So let's link up, Marcus. Holler at me. Falcon fans, another position battle that I'm excited to see, and it's one that you get to see very up close when you attend the Flower Branch training camp, and that's the receiver position battle. You get the 1v1s right there in front of you. You get to see the Drake London against the AJ Terrells.
You get to see
the good competitions.
And like he's top 1 in the league. And then
he'll kill it every training camp. And I'm not lying. He will kill it every training camp. Real quick, back on our article real quick, says, how will Ulbrich use his cornerbacks this year? It says, according to Next Gen Stats, the Falcons ran form of zone on 77% of their coverage of snaps, the 6th highest rate last season. The Jets, where Ulbrich entered the year as defense coordinator and ended it with interim head coach, were on the other end of the spectrum, running zone on 64.6% of the coverage snaps, fewer than all but 7 teams. The use of press coverage was even more glaring. Atlanta had the 3rd highest percentage of off-coverage snaps last year and provided an average cushion at cornerback of 6 to 8 yards to the opposing player. D. Alford, where are we at? New York played with an average cushion of only 5 yards at the line against the cornerback position. Deployed press coverage at the 8th highest rate as well. How those two philosophies may marry together will be one of the most fascinating trends to watch unfold in 2025. We'll get our first taste of what that could look like in about a week. So that is a very good article there, a very good paragraph, that article. That's stats right there in front of you, how Jeff Ulbrich schemes and how Jimmy Lake schemed. How will A.J. Terrell, how will Mike Hughes, how will Billy Bowman, how will these players pair in this man-to-man system? Philip, Rick, Cody, Robert, the mic is open. Take the stand.
My first thing I would say is that sounds to me when I hear that, they had no confidence in the pass rush. So is it fair to compare when they never invested in the pass rush besides picking up some, and now we got Leonard Floyd, we got Jalen Walker, we got Peart, we got Ebike. Like, it's a drastic change. So now if we play press, because we're getting to the quarterback half a second faster or whatever it is, does that make up the difference? So I don't know if that was his scheme necessarily, or if it was like, hey, look, man, we've already seen what our pass rush is going to be. We might as well play back a little bit. We got a lot of confidence in our safeties, and maybe that's why they did that. I hope that's the reason why, and it wasn't just a choice. But I'm really used to zone backed off coverage in Atlanta, and it kind of pisses me off at this point. So I'm hoping that we kind of challenge some receivers out the gate and kind of we give up too many easy slants, too many quick throws, and like I'm kind of tired of that shit, to be honest with you.
Yep,
Definitely.
No, I agree. I'm tired of seeing our corners like in zone that's 5 to 10 yards off the like where the line's supposed to be. Like that bothers me. And then I
remember one time I was at a game last year. No, was it last year? Maybe I wasn't at a game last year. That's a lie. I was watching a game, and there was one play where Mike Hughes, D. Alford, and AJ Terrell were all three damn near lined up on the first round, like the first down line marker, like the yellow line. they weren't symmetrical with it, but they were within 2-3 yards of that first down marker. And it's like,
I'm tired of
how are you ever going to stop a slant, a post? What is your plan here, my guy? Cody, your thoughts on hearing those stats of what the Falcons ran last year, what Ulbrich brings to the house. What could the difference be this season? And I believe this is another thing you'll see early in training camp with these position battles, with these 1v1s. It'll be a lot of man press coverage. I think we'll see a lot of that. But Cody, how different could it look for the Atlanta Falcons that just because you drafted a Jalen Walker and a Pierce that you can now play man coverage on the secondary end?
Yeah, no, I was saying I really hope that that's what Coach Brick brings is this press because – to your point, Chase, I was saying I can remember us talking in a group chat. As a matter of fact, I think it was during the Denver game. It'd be 3rd down and 4, and we've got guys 7 yards off the ball, and it's like, what are we doing? Like you were literally playing behind the first down sticks, and it's just like, and Denver absolutely tore us up. Because you could not get off the field on 3rd down.
That's one of those games you control alt delete. Like
but it was just one of those things. It's like
that we were at.
But to me, that was one of those things. It's like I was really like to Rick's point. You're really hoping that it was, hey, it's because we can't trust our pass rush, so we got to do that. But it really seems like the Denver game, and to Philip's point, even that Seattle game, it felt like it was a choice to play that far off the ball. Yeah. Because in no situation can you be in 3rd and 4 and got the guys, your last line of defense, to keep that first down and continue in a drive behind the sticks or a yard or 2 off of it. So
correct me if I'm wrong, and this may be I may be wrong in the stat, but last year when AJ Terrell played man coverage, it was like he had a stat of like 0. Like 1 catch or some shit. It was like 1 or 2 catches in man coverage. Like that. I want to say that, and I don't stick me for sure on that, but I believe there was a stat where AJ Terrell in man coverage last year, he was like 88.8% covered when it come to man coverage or something. But
I'd like to see the breakdown when Raheem took over, when our sacks jumped a lot, and if there was any correlation there, if that made any changes. I'd like to see that little breakdown.
Absolutely. Robert, your thoughts on the situation there that we've been chatting about?
Yeah, to Rick's point, I think he's right. I think it was, just lack of confidence in the pass rush. And, but at the same time, what does that say about your coaching? If you're going to be that blatant and put it out on display that you have no confidence in the pass rush, what's that going to do for your chemistry? What's that going to do for the confidence of your players? What's that going to do for the camaraderie?
Does that also maybe affect their tackling too, because they're an open, wide field versus the player instead of being on press, and they're like, and they're getting juked out of their socks?
Yep.
So maybe maybe these are all correlated. I don't know. We're about to find out.
This will be the tall tale of it all. Another topic here says, can Mike Hughes put together an encore? Darnell Mooney rightfully drew a lot of praise as Atlanta's number 2 receiver last year, but on the other side of the ball, Hughes quietly had a superb season as the number 2 corner. He allowed 2 touchdowns across 420 cover snaps per next-gen stat and forced a tight window throw on 21.8% of passes in his direction. The performance earned him a 3-year deal from the Falcons this offseason. If Hughes can continue to play at the level he did last year, Atlanta's investment in the former first round will be big for this defense. Another 2018 first-round draft pick, Mike Hughes. Philip, your thoughts on Mike Hughes, man? Big season here for him. A really big season for the Falcons defense because it's Mike Hughes or Clark Phillips III
Or Kobe.
Or Kobe or
That's deep right there.
So Philip, how are we feeling about Mike Hughes here as cornerback 2 heading into this season?
I'm confident Mike Hughes. My only concern is if he can stay healthy. That's his main issue. That's what his whole issue's been his entire career since 2018.
Yep.
Play style, solid. I love the energy. The way he tackles, and he's physical when he hits. I just love it. It's just trying to stay healthy is his main problem. If he could fix that, then he's it's great. I could see him here a couple more years. But if not, you're gonna have these younger guys like Clark or, like Rick said, Kobe. That's a guy that's been getting bulked, and he's ready. He's ready.
A guy that wants it. A guy that wants it. Undrafted as well, has a story to tell.
Looking at his stats too, last year was by far his best year in his
absolutely his best career. Yeah, his best.
And to be fair, he played 15, 15, 16, and 17 games since 2021. So hopefully that injury bug. He was hurt in 18 and 20, so hopefully that's kind of passed him up. But
yep. Cody, Robert, Rick.
Yeah, I think I'm looking forward to Mike Hughes, especially. It's always good when your secondary guys, outside of your AJ Terrells and Jesse Bates, you don't really know their name because that probably means they're doing their job.
Yep.
But my thing is I'm really looking for Clark Phillips III to take that next step, man. Because we've talked with Mike Johnson about the dog that he is. Even he's 5'9". Man, if he can just take one more step, I really feel like, man, our secondary will. I know back at Robert 98, we were the fly zone. What were we? Flight control. We'd be no flight. The no fly zone or something back there. I say. But man, as excited as I'm about Mike Hughes, I want to see Clark Phillips really take that next step, dude. I'm big on Clark Phillips. Mike Johnson has absolutely made me a believer.
We'll see. So Cody, that kind of leads me into our next article. Let me read this while because you're really about to hit it head for head. It says the next question here was the Falcons should feel comfortable with AJ Terrell and Mike Hughes, but are they comfortable with who's behind those guys, such as Mike Ford Jr. and Keith Taylor? They were both veteran role additions added this offseason, but they could also contend a veteran and young player competition, Clark Phillips III, for primary depth roles. So could Clark Phillips III signify, hey, I'm your next starting cornerback. If one of these guys goes down, I'm starting before Mike Ford and Keith Taylor.
Yeah.
Or you think Kobe? So what you got for me, Cody? You think?
Yeah, no, I definitely think that Clark Phillips could be that guy, man, because, just watching him, like I say, he's got the fight. He's got that dog in him, man. He just does. The physicality. He does not back down, from anybody. I've seen that boy lay wood on guys, that he shouldn't be able to lay wood on.
Or just aggressive pushing.
We thought he was going to be the guy last year.
Yeah,
and then he got hurt, and we were like, oh shit.
Yeah, and that's been the unfortunate thing. But like I say, Mike Johnson, who's around the team constantly. He's got connections up there. When you got Big Mike, got eyes on you. You're obviously something special. So, man, I'm just really hoping that Clark Phillips takes that next step because, if somebody goes down and Clark's got to step up, I'm fully confident in him.
Everything I'm reading right here is that from what it sounds, Kobe Bryant is nipping at the heels of all these players. Like Kobe Bryant is making a statement early in rookie minicamp. So it's really a good thing to have. You got all these great players at the cornerback position, one of the weakest positions we've had. You have all these players at the depth. You have these players that could come in if a guy goes down because who knows if Mike Hughes can stay healthy? Who knows if AJ Terrell goes down this season? Who would be that next cornerback? So that's what you have to look at, and that's kind of what this question refers around. What if AJ Terrell goes down? Mm-hmm. Are you comfortable with what you have behind AJ Terrell?
100%.
Definitely more so this year than any other year.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I've always been scared about AJ going down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel better about it now I don't know what Kobe Bryant's going to be, but, hopefully I feel really confident.
If it's anything from college,
yeah, no.
we got.
You know what I feel
like we
more
got a steal
confident
there.
about? I've never thought about this until we were starting to have this conversation. I'm looking at our schedule right now, and think about the number 2 wide receiver on the teams we play. The Bucks. You got what's his name? Godwin. Okay.
Is Godwin back this year? Is Godwin going to be back early this year?
I think so.
I think so, yeah.
Don't matter.
The Vikings have Addison. Okay. Who do the Panthers got? I don't know.
We'll see. They have a situation where it's going to be that Xavier Legette and that rookie they just drafted. That'll be who you see. That'll be your matchup.
I'm not that as concerned
and Legette wasn't that great last year. Let's be
Commanders. It's probably going to be Debo, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah.
I forgot about him.
Who the Bills' second receiver is. 49ers, I don't know.
Who's the Bills' starting receiver?
The
Dolphins
guy
have
they drafted.
Waddle. Patriots, I don't know. The Colts, I don't know. The Panthers, I don't know. The Saints, I don't know. The Jets, I don't know. The Seahawks, I don't know. The Buccaneers, I don't know. The Cardinals, I don't know. So we're not. Last year we were fighting a gauntlet of wide receivers.
We were,
and we were doing pretty decent though. Like
this
half
year,
of
I'm not
those
seeing
games.
it on that second wide receiver, man.
Yeah, that's a great point, Rick. So, Robert, well, how do you feel about it when you look at if AJ Terrell went down? If you had to rely on a Mike Ford or a Clark Phillip or a Kobe Bryant per se, how are you feeling about these young rookies or these young players? They're not all rookies, but young guys. They're very young.
Well, it's like y'all said. I mean, the confidence, this year should be a lot more than last year. And talking about Clark Phillips, just his drive and his work ethic. It reminds me of when Brent Grimes worked his way into the starting lineup. I mean, wasn't really a big name, wasn't a flashy guy, but
small guy as well.
Small guy, but when the lights were on and the focus was on him, he could. Oh my gosh, I think it was against the Saints when he made that leaping interception against Drew Brees.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I can see Clark being that player.
I didn't even realize he played that many games last year, Clark Phillips. He played a
did.
lot.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
And there was some where he had really good games, and there was some where he got burnt really bad.
He had 2 forced fumbles and an interception. Yeah.
Well, no, his main problem was getting penalties, apparently.
Well, and a lot of his plays, a lot of his big plays that were gave up were like just a step away. Like he was like,
it was good coverage, but it was just like
those good receivers we faced. Real quick, Rick, could you get us a salary cap after heading into training camp? What the salary cap looks like? Because if you had a situation where an AJ Terrell went down, you remember last season. You remember not last season, but the year before when you had the situation where you went and you signed players. You went and got the Justin Simmons. Who else was it? You went and traded for Buddy on defense.
I have a question.
Who's the guy we traded for?
What's
his name? What's the guy's name we traded for? Judon Smith. Yeah, we had him. You traded for him mid-season because you needed help. Salary cap this year. Not too great. So you're really relying on this roster you have.
Next year's, I'm pretty sure next year's salary cap's going to be better.
Yeah, we're supposed to be pretty
Kirk
fast.
comes off the books.
Hey, and that carries us straight into our next segment. NFL Netflix series quarterback Kirko edition. We're going to chat about it real quick. If you haven't watched the Netflix edition of it's what it's called, Quarterbacks, I believe it is.
Yes.
Very good show. I've watched both seasons. The season where Marcus Mariota was our quarterback and Kurt was with Vikings. And then I watched the season where Kurt was our quarterback and Marcus was nowhere in the picture. But it gave me a different perspective of, how Kurt, how the season played out for Kurt. Because, guys, I was pissed. I was texting Philip during me watching this. I'm like, Philip, bro, we were doing so good. Like we were flying so high at one point with this team. Like we were 6-3. Kurt was really leading this team to the dynasty that we all seen it could be. And then the injury happens. The sack in New Orleans. Kurt goes down. this at the time during the regular season, I thought the team knew nothing about Kirk's injury. I thought Kirk was hiding this. I thought the team knew heading into New Orleans that Kirk already had a elbow situation. Something was going on with the elbow. He already had inflammation in his elbow from week prior. I think the week prior he threw for like 500 yards, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe it was, maybe not the Seattle game. It was the Seattle game.
It's the Seattle game. Yeah.
So he comes in from the Seattle game.
That explains why that game pissed me off, bro. Being there live just irritated me because I'm like.
So it happened in that game. Wow, the inflammation happened in that game.
Okay, wasn't that the game he couldn't get the ball over 25 miles an hour?
Yep. That was at the halftime mark where
so frustrating.
And it was at halftime, and Kirk's telling these guys like in the tent, like my elbow's hurting, like they're rapping it and shit, and he's still playing. But as you watch the series, it gets more kind of realistic that if Penix takes the stage, Kirk may not see the field anymore. So at Kirk's age of 13 seasons in the NFL. What does Kirk do? Kirk tries to push it out, tries to, play Superman, ends up making the injury worse, messes his shoulder up the next week in New Orleans. Still has to fight it. Plays what was that team?
It would have been the Saints.
We played the Raiders.
Raiders. Saints, Broncos.
We won, but it was the worst game.
Oh, man. We played the Raiders, and then that's when.
The Raiders game, my God.
That game was ugly.
Which there's one point out.
The announcer just kept saying, they're not going to let Kirk throw it. They're not going to let Kirk throw it. I'm like, stop saying that.
Yeah, and that's when it's bad when the audience and the people can tell like something's going on with your quarterback.
But how bad did the Raiders suck that we had a broken?
So let's talk about the fact that early on in the season, Kirk sends a voice memo to Raheem Morris and Terry. Like he sends a voice memo over the phone. To me, cry out for help situation. That's the style that I got from it, and I could be wrong. I think it was like week 3, week 4 of the season, early on in the season. Kirk's like, something's not right, And then Rick, I don't know if you caught this vibe, but was there a vibe where Zach Robinson's offensive playbook may be a little too much at times?
Yeah, I think I saw that too. I think that was for the entire – I think we talked about the entire season. Like, why is he holding it back? Why isn't he doing some play action? Why isn't he doing the little boot? We were saying that all season long.
Kirk hit on the fact of, some of the fumbles that happened, some of the misplays that happened. And when he talked about how, and it wasn't like Kirk was throwing it on the Falcons. He owned up to it. He was like, there's so much they catch him on the sideline talking.
He's like, in this direction, we did more than I've ever done before.
Yeah, and he was like
5 different directions you can move.
Yeah, he was like, and each direction has a cadence. He breaks it down like this is this, and if this doesn't happen when this happens, then this play isn't going to work. And he was on the side of the field after a play. It hits the misdirecting snap or whatever. The running back's running, hits him in the leg. We lose that game. So he goes straight to the quarterback coach. He's like, there's so much going on. Like there's so much happening right now. So after that game, Kirk comes, hits up Raheem Morris, like, I'm not liking my performance right now. Something's not right. I don't know what we need to do, but we got to nip it in the bud. And this was like week 4. So I don't know. Maybe my hate for Kirk's not so much extended as it once was. After watching the Netflix series, seeing, how, it ain't like he didn't try. I will say Kirk Cousins gave it his all this season.
He did have a 6-3 at one point.
So that's my standpoint on it. Rick, Cody, y'all can hit on it, but that's kind of where I stand with it. I think Kirk Cousins. I wouldn't say Kirk Cousins was done wrong. I'm never going to say that. I'm not going to come on my podcast and say my team did play it wrong, but I'm going to say it could have been handled better. As how I would say it. It could have been handled better.
I don't think the Falcons did him wrong.
No,
I just think the Falcons made the wrong decision. No. Like from watching, and they should have just went to Penix earlier. Like that's just
absolutely.
They let it carry on too long, and they entrusted him. But if you heard throughout that quarterback thing, I heard Raheem Morris say "I love you" to Kirk Cousins multiple times throughout.
Yeah, you know what was so crazy, Rick? They had that meeting where he sends in that voice memo, and they had the meeting. Raheem Morris, Terry, they all have a sit-down meeting, and then Kirk Cousins comes out and plays the best game he's ever played in his entire career. That's against Tampa Bay. So it's like
we were there, Cody.
Yeah,
we were there. The thing that I didn't like about the hate is that everyone was talking shit about Kirk Cousins' attitude and what he's doing to the team and way he's treating people and all this stuff. And we didn't know any of that. It's a bunch of assumptions. Then when you watch quarterback, you actually see a guy who's trying to help the franchise and trying to do whatever he can to make him win. And he's calling like, man, please help me. Like, I don't know what's going on here.
Yeah.
What do you see? What do you want me to do? Help me. Like, what can we do? And that was completely different than way the Falcons. And he was even like, look, what do you expect me to do? I moved my whole family here.
Yep.
And then I didn't even have to leave. And now, so I can't blame the guy, dude. Like, to be perfect.
The only comment I didn't like Kirk made the whole Netflix series is when he said, if I known they was drafting a quarterback, I probably wouldn't have left.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, dude, what would we have done?
I boiled it down to an unfortunate circumstance. He just happened to get hurt, and it didn't work out in our favor. I don't have anybody to blame.
Yeah.
Well, but Minnesota drafted a quarterback, so what would he have done? He would have stayed, and that was kind of my
stated that he was like, if I stayed in Minnesota, I was playing year to year in Minnesota. Like they told him, he said that they told him that straight out the gate. Like,
well, and
you're not getting
I
long
feel
term.
like if he would have just stayed, he'd have been in the same boat. So like it wouldn't have mattered. Like in his standpoint, like it just really wouldn't have mattered if he stayed.
Well, I think the difference is that people aren't considering is he moved his entire
family. Right?
That's a big deal.
Yep.
Yeah, it's
very big deal.
And now he's like, well, are we going back to Minnesota or
what's the plan?
He's kind of in an awkward position.
Well, and my thing is like
he's not leaving, by the way.
I was saying that was my reason that I wasn't so upset with Kirk. Like at first, when it sounded like he knew and wasn't saying anything, I was a little pissed. But I was never I never hated Kirk Cousins for the thing, but
I hated the 3-game losing streak.
I hated the 3-game losing streak. That definitely irritated me.
God, I hated it
more than anything. But to me, it sounds like I'm going to drag Younghoe Koo into this. So if they're doing this, to Kirk Cousins, what are they doing to Koo when he was hurt? And is Koo coming? Now this is my problem. If this is a coaching thing, is Koo coming to coming to Coach Raw and being like, look, Coach, my hip's hurting and my performance isn't good. What are we doing? And he's like, Koo, we love you, man. And we're just going to keep pushing. Like that's an issue, though.
He said we're riding until Koo dies.
Yeah, and that's it. It's just like, but that is how you lose football games. I understand, Raw cares about his guys. I know he does. And I'm sure a lot of Coach Raw is like, I don't want to sit Kirk because I don't want to have to make the decision of starting the rookie and then they're just being, because, we all know how Falcon fans can be, guys. Penix has one good game, will they sit Kirk and they decide to bring, and then it's going to be Penix, and now you've got problems. I think Kirk has handled this thing great, throughout the whole thing. He's been professional. One of the things I loved most seeing Kirk at the home game, where the first home game that Michael Penix played, him in the tunnel, arms around him, praying with him in the tunnel.
Oh, dude, you see the professionalism from Kirk in the Netflix series. Even when Penix takes over, like Kirk's on the sideline with the quarterback coach, like celebrating throws that Penix making. He's like, boom, there it is every time. Boom, he makes that throw every time. It's like, this guy really cares. You know what I mean? Like it ain't like it's a hatred thing that he got benched. Like he actually cares. About if we win games.
And that's kind of what I love about Coach Raw is because you could tell he cares about his guys. He does, and he wants them to succeed, and he doesn't want to put them in that situation, because I'm sure, that's in the back of, because they're people too, guys. It's a business, yes, but, they're all people and they spend time together. That's like, from August, really July until January, these guys are around each other more than they are their own families. Mm-hmm. And so it becomes your family, just like any of us at work, the people that we work with, we're around more than we are with our families. And so, a lot of us get close and stuff like that. So I'm sure that was a factor in Coach Raw's head too. It's like, man, Kirk did move his family down here. Man, Kirk, does have a wife and kids. Man, I want Kirk to succeed. Man, Kirk is putting in the work. I could see, like, if it was Marcus Mariota being like, dude, just sit down and shut up. because he's not putting in that work, and like Kirk is. And so I'm sure it was hard for Raw to be like, yeah, I know you're hurt, but we're going to sit you in, we're going to sit you, because he's looking out for Kirk too. And at the same time, I'm sure he's looking out for, Penix too. Because do you really want to stick your rookie quarterback in there, in the middle of a game, especially away, it's just things you don't want to do to your rookie quarterback and destroy. and I have a problem with this because a lot of me is like, well, you don't want to go in there and destroy his mental confidence and stuff like that. But at the same time, I'm going, well, Penix, if this destroys your mental confidence, like you probably shouldn't be playing in the NFL because I think he can bounce back. But at the same time, still protecting your rookie at the same time, and that's what you've got to do those things. So it's a difficult situation, man. And as much as I want Kirk to succeed, and I'd love for him to stay here in Atlanta because, to be honest, guys, like we've got the strongest quarterback room, right now in the NFL, or one of the top 5.
Yeah.
Because God forbid anything does happen to Michael Penix, we do have a Kirk Cousins.
That's been
think about what happens in Minnesota if their quarterback goes down again. You just tossed out your you just shipped him off to where'd he go to?
Sam Darnold's with the Seahawks now.
Yeah, he's a Seahawk now. So if your rookie quarterback goes down, you don't.
How
have
did
a Kirk
Sam
Cousins.
Darnold not get a contract extension? That's a good break in the eye segment. How did Sam Darnold not get a contract extension? The guy made history in Vikings over there. I don't think they ever had that great of a regular season record, like ever.
They made they were in the playoffs, right?
They were 14-2.
Yeah,
Weren't they 14-2 the year that we knocked them? We kept them from going to the Super Bowl. Robert,
15-1.
15-1.
Okay, so another stat I was off.
That was
on.
also in what, 98 too, wasn't it?
Yep.
That was 98. Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I'm right about this, but I think I don't know, maybe I misunderstand when people say like, why didn't Kirk go to the coaches and let them know he was injured and all this stuff? Bro, he's in the training room getting PT. They see him on the practice field throwing. They know it's an issue.
He's steady telling the trainers during the series, like, "Oh, that's tight."
Dude, you don't think they're watching him like a hawk? They know his limitations. So to say that he should have went to him and told, they knew, bro. It was a team decision. They were all making a decision together. So we could stop with that bullshit.
Yeah. It's an organization situation, man. Like when you call to sit him and when you call him to play
Not
a
even
game.
to mention them thinking about TF and the money they invested. Like, dude, if we do this, fuck.
Yeah.
Set ourselves back. We just cleared our cap space, and now after 8 weeks,
yeah, looking rough. So our last topic for tonight's show, before we get ready to close this thing out, we're right at our hour mark. The Atlanta Falcons have announced they have throwback games this year. We have 3. Last year we won it 3 times. We went 3-0 in that span. This year we wear them at home on a night game against the Buffalo Bills, and we also have a away game that we wear the throwbacks, and we'll play the Los Angeles Rams on a Monday Night Football game in that throwback uniform as well. So also fans this off season, we're talking a lot about new jerseys. So expect next year's off season for fans to really be talking about new jerseys. I think
That's
saw where
why I'm kind of iffy on buying a new one, bro. Like, I don't know.
Please, no. I like these new jerseys. Am I the only one that likes the new jerseys? Because I feel
like
like
the
every time I
jersey.
turn
It's
around,
like
somebody's
radio.
bashing up.
If
everybody says everybody
I
around the
like
NFL
I do
people say they look
miss
like
the-
high school teams or some shit. I don't know.
See, I don't get that. So
You know what I miss? Why did we leave our 2016 red jersey?
I was about to say, I like those.
dude,
What
those
was
were
wrong? What was wrong with the 2016
Those were
red
so-
jerseys?
Like, when we were pushing, like, black jerseys, why
We
not just
we
go
got
with,
rid
like,
of the only jersey that we actually won games in. Like, I mean, other than the throwback,
like,
the red jersey.
why-
That's the only other era that you won games in. Like,
When we were asking for black jerseys, I feel like we were asking for the black version of that jersey.
the throwback.
Yeah.
Not
back
just
in,
not
like,
the throwback, just the black
the red.
version of that
Yeah.
red.
Yeah.
Like, because
absolutely.
it was getting tiring seeing red week in and week out.
red and
but-
white, red and white, red and
I'll
white.
say
at
I'm
the
not a
same time-
huge fan that one of our throwbacks is on the road. I don't agree with that.
You don't like that? You
No.
don't like that? Nah.
I think it should be for the home team, for the home fans. It's black. We're supposed
So
to
I
wear-
guess
Is
the
that
Bucks-
one in Tampa?
Yeah. So will the Bucks wear their creamsicle?
They're supposed to, yeah.
They're supposed to be wearing
Maybe
their
that's why.
ugly-ass white ones with that.
because if they wear creamsicle, we normally wear all white, and so
Right.
then that'll be kind of clashy. So maybe that's why.
So are we gonna have to wear our black throwbacks in that hot ass stadium?
No.
That's crazy.
Actually, I'm pretty sure it's going to be a night game. I'm pretty sure.
No, it's a 4:00 game, I believe. I could be
At
wrong.
4:00.
Which
no,
one?
the sun's starting to go down during
Yeah, you're right.
September.
You're right. You're right. Let me check that.
Or not even September. When is that? Like during football season.
It don't give me the
changes.
time. It don't give me the time for that one.
Oh, it's Sunday, 8:15.
Yeah, see.
Yeah,
Oh, so
that's
it's
One
a
against
night
the
game.
Bills?
Oh, that's gonna be tough. No, it's a Bill game at 7:30. That's a Sunday
Yeah,
night
that's
or
the Sunday
Monday
night
night
game.
game.
I thought it was Sunday.
Monday,
It might be
Monday.
Monday. I don't know.
I
It's
don't
nice
know.
to have five prime
I'm
time.
trying to.
It's nice to have 5 primetime games to go. Wait,
I'm
which
gonna
one are we doing
find.
on?
I'm gonna find my way to Atlanta
Oh yeah,
against
how
the
many
Bills.
does
That's
the
a
Panthers
Sunday.
have
I believe
again?
it's a Sunday
Oh, that's
night.
right.
Sunday or Monday night game.
How many do the Saints have? That's what I want to know. What?
Should
I
be
don't think the
zero.
Saints. I don't think the Saints got a single primetime game.
Good screw.
I don't believe they did. I think
They
the
don't
Panthers.
deserve one.
I think the Panthers may have gotten one.
I
I
don't
don't know
think they
how.
do.
They may not. Anyways, we are at our hour mark of tonight's show, guys. Our first podcast in 2 weeks now. So a lot of
I think
coverage
it's longer
fixing to
than
be
2
pushing.
weeks.
A lot of coverage fixing to be coming out now from DFU. Me, Philip, Cody, and Robert. I mean, not Robert. Rick will be at the training camp getting live coverage of what's happening. So Falcon fans, stay tuned for that. We're gonna give you like a little mini vlog, I guess, for the day or whatever. But stay tuned for that. Excited about that. Appreciate everybody that tuned in tonight. All the new subscribers. Thank you guys. We're at 552 officially. Not over the hill, but close to 1,000. We're almost at 600 subscribers, man. Y'all get us there. We can't do it without you guys. Philip, Rick, Cody, Robert, it's been a pleasure to have you guys on the show tonight. Glad to have each and every one of you here on the platform. You all bring something special to the podcast, so I thank you guys. And with that being stated, shout outs for tonight. Philip, take the mic.
Man, shout out to God, man. We here another night. Been here a whole day. Shout out to the job, man. Got to work in the morning, but it ain't long. So, shout out to that. Shout out to you boys for being here. And shout out to everybody that was in the comments.
Philip,
Shout
when you
out
say
football,
when you say
man.
that, Philip, when you say it's not going to be long, how fast you think you're going to weed eat the house?
Bitch, I ain't weed eating your home. I look like I got a real job.
That boy working overtime at the house on a weed eater.
Buddy, I don't even weed eat at my own house. What makes you think I'm doing yours?
Go ahead, dog. I had to mess with you.
But nah, shout out to football. We're getting back, man. It's been long.
It's here.
Whether I'm ready for whether it's high school, college, shout out to it. we're gonna be there for every single game.
Yes, sir.
Other than that, man, shout out to the team. Yeah, y'all already know what to do. Rise up, baby.
Rise up.
That's it.
What did I used to say? Hold up.
Just be patient.
Be patient. Be patient.
Rick, shout outs for tonight, brother.
Hashtag be patient.
Man, I'll say shout out to the school system because apparently school starts back August 5th, which I didn't realize that. If you got kids, the summer is tough.
Man, they're waiting until August 5th. My kid goes back July 31st.
That's insane.
Yay!
God.
And then shout out TikTok shop. If you guys couldn't tell, I got a new 4K camera.
Okay.
40 bucks, man. You
It
remember
is
when
pretty clear. It is pretty clear.
4K TVs are like $1 million, and now you can get them for $200 at Walmart.
Yes, sir.
Same kind of thing with this cam. And shout out to everybody who supports. I know the followers been going up, the likes, subscribers, all of that. It doesn't cost you anything to click some buttons. So please like, comment, subscribe, all of that. We appreciate all the love. We don't get any money from this. We just want to spread the love and talk Falcons and spread our passion. So appreciate
Yes,
you.
Cody, Robert.
Yeah, man. Shout out to you guys. Say I love talking Falcon football. I'll just say I could do this every night. I know it's been slow, and I've been looking for. God, I'm looking forward to football season.
We got to give this jersey away, guys.
Let's say, that's right.
We got to give this jersey away. We've been waiting, and we took a little off break. Falcon fans, get the hashtag DFUs in because we will be wrapping up this raffle very shortly as the podcast will be giving you a weekly show every week. So the raffle will come up very, very quickly. So get your hashtag DFU in.
Yeah, man. Let's say so. Shout out to y'all coming talking Dirty Bird football. Let's say this is the best day of the week. Is anytime we get to talk about our birds. Shout out to everybody that watches, subscribes, to say So we're just five guys talking about the thing we all love the most, or other than our wives and girlfriends and stuff like that. I'll say, but man, it's good to see. It's just good to have a group of friends, man. That we all have one common thing, and it's our Dirty Birds. So shout out to you guys. Shout out to everybody that likes, listens. Keep. We're going to keep pushing things out, guys. Shout out to Mercedes-Benz, man. I would say I can't wait. I would say I talked to my GM's a big Falcon fan too.
Man, put your toys up.
I would say Oh, hey man, well, let's say that's some good stuff right there.
He
Right
plays
there.
with those at night when he gets bored.
Hey, I don't blame you. I would too. Break them
I
out, man.
collect them. I collect them.
But other than that, guys, I'm just excited. I'm just so ready for Falcon football.
Hey, it's
man.
here, baby. It's here.
Finally
We're gonna get to see the boys on the field
Oh,
Thursday.
Get to see
I
the
don't-
boy, the boys
Did I
out
ever
there.
show? Did I ever show everybody, bro? I got the Mercedes Benz right here.
Yeah, that's pretty dope.
Oh, look
Yeah,
at you.
I've seen that.
Oh,
Let's
cool.
say, hey,
Yeah, Chase.
Robert-
other than that, guys, rise up.
Chase, you thank you to shit too.
Hey,
bro.
where'd you
Oh,
find them
look
at?
at that.
Where'd you
I
get
don't
them?
know, bro. Mom just came in and gave them to me.
My wife found these at like a thrift shop, and I was like, "Hey, buy them, guys." I put them in the podcast room. But Robert, shout outs for tonight, my guy.
Oh yeah, we got them at TJ Maxx.
TJ Maxx.
TJ Maxx.
TJ Maxx does not support us, so we do not support TJ Maxx.
Hashtag not an ad.
Hashtag not in that. Robert, shout outs for tonight, brother. The wife says, real quick, those are Dalton and Sanders. They're not mine. So let y'all
He
know
still
that.
plays
They're
with
in
them,
your
so
room.
don't even lie to you.
Dads don't own anything
You
anymore.
ain't fooling nobody. We know you should play with them. Anyway, shout out to the Lord above, man. Without him, nothing's possible. And as always, shout out to you guys. I appreciate you letting me be a part of this, as always. It's been a hot minute since we've been here, and it's good to talk football tonight, especially, our Dirty Birds. Shout out to our viewers, our subscribers. Without you guys, this isn't possible. We greatly appreciate every one of you. Just spread the word, just, help us build this thing. And, because we love, bringing the content to you. Of course, shout out to the Falcons themselves. They're the reason we do this. And shout out to my family, Brianna, Peyton, Zach, and Christy. I love y'all. And as always, rise up.
Rise up, Falcon fans. This is officially episode 151 here for DFU at 552 subscribers. Man, y'all hit that like button, leave a comment, subscribe, share the podcast to other Falcon fans. Let's get this podcast popping because, as I stated earlier, a lot of Atlanta Falcon content coming this season, guys. We got a lot of on-site coverage, a lot of at-game coverage. So, Falcon fans, it's going to be a fun year here for DFU. We thank everybody that's here for the ride the last 2 seasons. Hopefully, this ride is just as fun as what it's been here for the channel. Thanks to Cody, Robert, Rick, Phillip, me, myself. Could not do this, guys, without you. I mean, this podcast doesn't run unless you guys come on here and talk Falcon football with me. So, big thank you to you guys. Big thank you to the podcast, the people that watch, people that's like, subscribe. Thank you, guys. Shout out to the wife and the babies in the living room. Going to close the night out with some TV and maybe a little bit of PlayStation. So shout out to that. Shout out to the good Lord, man. And as always, man, rise up, boys. A fun week ahead of us, man.